Hello, everyone. My name is Duarte Moraes. I'm a tourism professor and extension specialist at NC State. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of a training I've conducted with collaboration of Laura Ponder, a horticulture extension agent at Rutherford County Extension Center, and with my colleague Jean Brothers, who's a professor emeritus and also a member of the People First Tourism Lab at NC State. We've been working in many counties across North Carolina with farmers and with other local people to help them get more out of the tourism industry. And as we work with them, particularly with farmers, we've identified a few questions that arise frequently. And so we conducted an in-person training in Rutherfordton, North Carolina, and I wanted to let you get a glimpse into what we discussed, and we will be doing more of these in the future. So the first thing we would like to, have farmers think about is what is agritourism. People use this term, and this is actually has been defined, and it's essentially some kind of the farm business unit or business activity that focuses on attracting visitors so that they can buy things, including experiences. So they can buy educational things that are kind of for fun, and also to buy product so that the farmers have the chance to sell product directly to visitors. There's been a lot of research about agritourism, some of it from some of my close colleagues at NC State. And overall, academics have found that tourism can contribute significantly to the farm revenue. It can be just a small portion of a farm's revenue, or it can be a dominant aspect of the farm's revenue stream. And generally, it is a form of revenue diversification. The other benefit that farmers get is that their brand, their farm, is better known around their region. And the other thing is that farmers sometimes are looking into agritourism as a way to involve their children into the farm business. They can run the shop, they can do social media if they are not as interested in doing like actual agricultural work in the fields. We have found that there's a lot of efforts that around the state and around the country that are focused on farm tours, and there's really good work done, and some farmers really have been able to leverage that work. But that's less talked about is the idea of farmers welcoming groups of 10 to 15 visitors for a small fee, so they have a hands-on activity at the farm. The farmers like to involve the visitors in a more experiential way in those small group experiences. They earn a little bit of income, not a lot, but a significant amount. And they even can have them do some of the work that they would like to do, almost like volunteer tourism. And so that's one of the activities that we work carefully and in collaboration with many farmers across the state. So agritourism can be kind of a hindrance, a distraction from the production aspect. Some aspects of agricultural production are not suitable for visitors to come and touch things and trample around. But there are many ways in which farmers successfully use agritourism to advance their business needs. There's agribusiness needs. All right. So these are a set of types of questions that we get in interacting with farmers. And one of them is what to do to be found. You can see there that we talk about sometimes on having farms visible on Google Maps. And the little Google map you can see is my farm in Portugal, my family farm in Portugal. I grew up here. We produce a little bit of farm product, and we do also a lot of tourism. Part of it is events, and part of it is people staying at the farm and eating at the farm. We have 7 rooms for guests. And so we want to be found, and we're easily found on Google Maps. The problem is that if you are not fully engaged with tourism and you put yourself in the Google Maps, then people might stop over unannounced while you're not ready for them, while you're busy and you're not really a good place for people to come. You can see on some of those images that farmers sometimes have signs saying, right now we're not open to the public. So you would want to think about this issue. I'll have it linked in the description of this video to a PDF of these slides. And at the last slide, there's some links to resources. And one of the resources we have linked there is a paper from a communication strategy company in Oregon that gives advice on how signs can be made. You can see the sign at the bottom left that has an indication when you are open, and that sign has the address and it has a phone number. So you want to think about, do you want to list your phone number, make it visible, or do you want to have a little bit more privacy so that you're a little less readily available to visitors? So consider that. It depends from farmer to farmer. And the last point I would want to make to you is that we work with the tourism divisions across the counties of North Carolina. And one of the recommendations we are making to them is that they offer mini grants for farmers to apply to develop signs to put out in their driveway, to look professional and to give the right expectation, to set the right expectation to visitors on whether or not they can just pop in and go to the farm stand, or if they need to make a reservation. So this is a very important issue, and we see farmers, debating on what to do about this, and we can work with you to think about the best journey. Another issue is on kind of signage. The worst thing you can have is visitors to the farm that are not really sure where to go. Some farms, as you see on the bottom left, have little maps of their facility to direct people, kind of Disney kind of method, Disney World type of, signage and maps and things like that. And many of you are not set up for that. Many of you are very handy and you're resourceful and you might build some signs. And there's advice on which signs do you really need, and where, how to direct visitor flow. So there's a couple of resources in the PDF, and you can reach out to us and we can give you the specific ones you might need, how to point people to the right place so they're not lost and going to places that are not suitable for visitors. That can carry liability consequences to you. Another issue is, how can you design things in your farm? We see all kinds of inventive and creative activities like slides and hay bale playgrounds and things like that. And there's, like the picture on the left is corn, like a sandbox, but with corn. Some of these things are very dangerous, and some of the things are not really loved by the visitors. So there's a lot of knowledge on what you can do in a resourceful way, and what things you should not do, and how to do them so that they're safe. For example, a picture with a child interacting with goats. There's best practices and even kind of policy guidelines on how you can facilitate the interaction between visitors and your farm animals, for the animals' safety and for the visitors' safety. So I would like to emphasize that you look into those, and we have some linked at the last in the file, in the PDF file in the last slide. But just in case you don't find that file, just look up safeagritourism.org, and in the resources page, there's a lot of checklists and advice and guidelines and the height of fences and things like that. All right. On the right, those two photos show you the professionally looking signs. There are companies out there that sell these things ready-made for you. And so that's another option. You just buy something that's well designed if you are not handy or you don't have the time, or you want to have something that looks a little bit more professional and less homemade. And lastly, you should be very mindful of hygiene for the safety and health of the visitors. And again, you see on the right kind of a cute looking hand washing sign. There's porta potties. A lot of the people we work with, they don't have porta potties or public bathrooms, but we advise them that they need to go to the bathroom before they visit this farm, especially in that model of a small group of people that are going to visit a farm for an hour and a half and do something at the farm and meet the farmers. That's a very suitable option. Okay. But there's also some things online on hand washing stations that are very low key and they're very farmy kind of looking. And there's probably things that many of you would feel comfortable just building yourselves. Even I'm not a very, very handy, but I looked at some of those examples and there are things that I would enjoy making with very limited resources. So we have, again, some advice and some guidelines on how you can do that. And that's it for today. We're going to be doing this across North Carolina periodically, and we will try to make them available via, YouTube like this. That's my information over there. I work at NC State. I'm a professor and extension specialist, and I'm, delighted to respond to you if you have any questions.